So the big questions are this: how do transport professionals like us protect our future career and build our professional practice? What are the skills and knowledge we need to succeed? These are the questions that you will find the answers to here. My name is Phil Charles. Welcome to Your Transport Future Podcast, Episode 1. So the question for this episode is, are you concerned about your future professional career? But first, let me define what is a professional. How do you define a professional? You are a professional if you are a member of a vocation or occupation that has specialised education, knowledge, skills or experience, usually with tertiary qualifications and industry experience. In other words, a person competent or skilled in a particular activity. For example, an engineer or planner with a degree and at least 3 to 5 years experience can be considered a professional. Another means of defining a professional is that you get paid for your specialised knowledge to do a specific job or role, either as an employee or as a consultant. There's also an element of craftsmanship in being a professional. You develop your knowledge of principles, patterns and practices and heuristics, in other words, experience-based techniques for problem solving, and assimilate knowledge by practice over an extended period of time. When you are a professional, others seek you out for your particular expertise in a field or discipline, and you can achieve career advancement to a well-paid position of authority. Most of us go to work in order to perform tasks in return for some mix of money, status, recognition, and job satisfaction. You may be lucky enough to have a job that allows you to contribute in a greater good. You may enjoy the work itself and the company of your colleagues and the stakeholders you work with. You may also choose a particular job because it has the potential to satisfy your career objectives. So let's talk about where professionals' careers are heading and what you can do to be more successful. What do you think the world will look like in 10 years' time? If you cast your mind back, you couldn't have imagined the developments that have occurred in the past 10 years. There's a time when employers looked after the careers of their professionals. It was common back in the 1970s and 1980s for a professional to have more than 40 years with the same employer, but that's pretty rare now. Also, employers provided and usually required that you had specific experience and training during your early career years. So let me give you an example from my early career. I was required to work in different geographic locations, a coastal environment, the mountains, and the western plains, the desert, which all have different engineering challenges in different contexts, in wet climates and dry climates, in high traffic and low traffic, and in different jobs in construction, maintenance, operations, and administration. It was a very diverse early career. Looking back on it, it was a good experience, and I learned a lot. My employer also had a small team dedicated to managing our professional career development. They provided comprehensive in-house training, which disappeared over time, unfortunately. Over the first 10 years of my career, they provided me an opportunity to attend university and complete my master's degree full-time at full pay. Doesn't happen much now. Consequently, I stayed with them for over 25 years. Today, professionals are expected to manage their own career development. But there have been massive changes in technology occurring, and as a result, many changes have also occurred in how we work. And how we will work in the future is open to question. We are facing enormous disruptive shifts which will continue to reshape work into the future. The problem is we're given little direction about what experience, skills and training is required to progress your career. In many cases, this is because the employers haven't planned for it, or they don't even know. And there are limited professional development opportunities for us as well. So transport is not going away anytime soon. The industry will continue to grow as population grows and the economy, because people need to move and goods need to get to the farm and factory to the store, all of which is handled by some mode of transport. So the demand for transport will continue, inevitably, to increase. As the population and standard of living increase, transport traditionally also increases. This means we'll continue to need transport professionals, but they will be different and have different skills than what is needed today. Because of this, transport professionals are facing many disruptive shifts, which will continue to reshape their work into the future. Let us consider some of those changes facing professionals today. So the next big question is, what trends are professionals facing? The job market is shrinking, and in the US, for example, since the year 2000, population has grown at 2.2 times the number of jobs. That's a worry. In contrast, this is flipped from being before, when over the previous 50 years, jobs grew at 1.6 times the population. So where we used to have excess jobs to the population, now we don't anymore. So this is a major concern because the job market for professionals is becoming more and more competitive. More professionals already have postgraduate qualifications such as a master's degree, which raises the bar when you compete for a job. There's growing global competition for jobs. For example, India produces something like 1.5 million engineering graduates every year. And this is a major concern when you consider how much Indian engineers are paid compared to Western countries as little as a tenth. Technical jobs have been outsourced to Asia, South America and Eastern Europe because of readily available communication technology, together with improved education levels and the low cost of living and wages in those countries. As a result, many jobs are moving offshore. In a Deloitte study on the future of work, 42% of executives surveyed expect to increase or significantly increase the use of contingent workers in the next 3 to 5 years. There's been a dramatic growth in the gig economy. Think about things like drivers for Uber and others that make a living without any form of employment agreement. Contract professionals are now readily available as well on online freelance platforms such as Upwork and Freelancer. And the numbers are growing, providing professional technical staff for employers who no longer need large full-time professional staffs. They can hire experts for each project as they required, reducing their costs and overheads. Let's consider some of the technology changes that are impacting work. Artificial intelligence, together with automation, will continue to impact routine professional work. Take the example of the legal industry. Artificial intelligence can search documents and databases quicker, better, and cheaper than a law clerk. The Deloitte study predicted that 39% of legal jobs will be automated within 10 years. Software packages can be designed to do technical work, again, quicker, better, and cheaper. So professionals, however, need to be developing innovative solutions and interpreting the results of automated calculations and designs rather than just doing the specific rule-based technical work, which follows standards and accepted approaches. Current personal technology apps are also moving to work apps. Think of how Siri, an intelligent cloud-based assistant, could apply to your work. Facebook and Amazon use algorithms to make suggestions based on what you've done previously. All of these apps are being considered for work applications and will dramatically impact what you do for your work in the future. Another trend of concern is the half-life of knowledge. It is now only about 5 years for engineering-related work, for example. That means half of your technical knowledge today will become obsolete in 5 years' time. So it's important to monitor and assess the trends in your professional sector. So challenges for transport professionals. So don't forget, you can make your job more secure by ensuring your skills and experience are appropriate to the emerging needs of the transport sector. Now, many transport professionals enter the industry with a civil engineering degree. Less than 10% of the degree specifically covers transport. The rest of the knowledge and skills have to be learned on the job or by other means. So basic degrees don't give people the grounding they need. And traditional graduate degrees, such as a master's or even an MBA, are often a series of courses packaged together by the universities, a majority of which are not all that useful or relevant to transport. It's great to have a master's degree, but how does it help you do your work? It may help you get the job in a competitive market, and that's it. To become a more successful professional, you need to develop or enhance the traits of a professional. Be highly educated in a specific field with specialised training and qualifications and considerable experience in that field. So gain specialist training, qualifications and experience that are appropriate. Be an expert and have specialised skills and knowledge, becoming recognised as an expert by developing specialised skills and knowledge. As your professional career progresses, however, your skill sets change from technical to management, which includes planning, strategy, finance and so on. These are not usually taught in technical degrees. Become highly competent in a particular activity or process. And there's an ongoing dilemma for technical professionals. Do they become specialists? Do they develop specialist knowledge, such as depth of the knowledge or on a particular topic? Or do they maintain a generalist breadth of knowledge, skills and experience? I'll come back to this later, but I believe it's both. You need to be known for producing high quality work. Be interested in doing a job well and commitment to performing at the highest level. Produce only high quality work. Have a duty of care to your client, employer and the community, and take on the mantle of duty of care in everything that you do. And also be engaged in constant learning and improvement and moving towards mastery in your particular field. Be a lifelong learner. So transport professionals need to monitor and assess the trends in their professional sector so they can prepare for what's coming into the future. So that's it for this episode. Thanks for listening. I hope you found it interesting and useful. I'll be back later with more. Go over to Transport Futures Institute, transportfutures.institute, and check it out.